if we are ever going to be the city that we can be and should be, we need to be a community that is all about a level playing field for every citizen that wants to be involved. And we're not right now. And it is, one of the inherent things that I believe is that when quality of life is great for everyone, everyone benefits. So it's not just fixing what's wrong and helping a certain segment. Our entire community will be better once we tackle this and solve it. And we'll be a model for other communities. That's what I want Jacksonville to be. I want us to be the model, not the person running to catch up to the current times.
Change doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
You got to make it happen. And it would be real easy to allow, well, that's the way it was, and we can't do anything about it, and that to take over. And if you could, it's too important not to work.
I think it's beyond important. I think it's a matter of the life and future of our community and of our kids.
I always thought that I was pretty versed on racial issues and sensitive to the notion of making certain that we ensure racial equality and equity and all of those type things. But I think from the perspective of the exposure we receive in that particular workshop kind of sensitized me to the historical perspective and actually gave me a sense for not only the reality but some of the why.
It's a great country, but the whole beginning of this country was based on structural racism. It was the way we got started. That was the way it happened, and it was sort of just continued to be reinforced with our government. And I guess the 60s, enough was enough. And I think for someone who was a history major, for the first time, unfortunately I have to say, in 65 years, I got it.
Yeah.
And it was that aha moment.
Yeah.
And I got it.
It causes you not to take things at face value. The racism that still exists in society at all levels is not just from a person's heart. I think that's what I believed before, that if we could change hearts, that would do the trick. It's a much deeper part of our infrastructure of our society than I ever knew or dreamt. And that doesn't mean it's not solvable or fixable, but it does mean we need to be more diligent and look at solutions in different ways than if we were just dealing with the human heart.
We're going to have to unwind the clock. We're going to have to unwind it. And things don't get unwound by themselves. And it's got to be done positively. It's got to be done constructively. It's got to be done with balance. And it's got to be done with a sensitivity and an understanding that you have two people who are coming at this issue from two different historical perspectives. One who would be viewed as causing it, and one who would be viewed as the recipient. And that is a major breach. And unless both sides are working at it, it will be real easy to get back into the name game, the blame game. Wasn't on my watch, wasn't my fault. And then we don't make progress.
Really an important piece of Project Breakthrough and what it is trying to achieve is that everybody, the movers and shakers, the people who have the power and authority and the wherewithal, that they can begin to look at some of the issues that we face as a community around structural racism and exactly what that means, all of those pieces of the puzzle that set up a system that creates disparities among the races. So for me, the experience of sitting at the table with people who are really invested in that change and see that there is a need for it and meet regularly and all the resources that come to the table to meet that end is a very powerful, first of all, a very powerful environment to be sitting in. To have the opportunity then to take that back and share it with my colleagues at the school district is also tremendous.
The most significant impact was on some of the how significant it was to them emotionally.
That 3 days that we spent together, I don't know another community that could have pulled together that group of people in one room for 3 solid days. It was the decision makers, the influencers, the people who truly turn public opinion and set community priorities. And just the fact that they spent 3 days together, we spent 3 days together, makes me hopeful.
Got some barriers here, but I really believe that this program and what this organization is doing is that we're making significant progress. I mean, we can have an open dialogue about it that we've not been able to do before without people getting defensive, without people, the blame game, pointing fingers, those type of things. But it's going to be a journey, and we got to just keep at it.